Welcome to today's edition of The Exchange. We're live from Hollywood, Florida at Inside ETFs. Now, as a reminder, today's interview is for informational purposes only. The NYC does not recommend investments or investment strategies. I'm joined by Timothy Kramer. He is the president and CEO of CNIC Funds. I got to say thank you for joining this morning.
I appreciate you having me, thank you.
So I'm a longtime industry ETF veteran, so when I get super excited about something, you just launched last week the first ever electricity ETF. It's AMPD, easy to remember, AMPed. Tell us about this fund.
So what we tried to do is we tried to offer investors a way to participate in the electrification of America. So what happens is the US is trying to go towards an 85% renewable power grid by 2030, 100% renewable by 2035. And with respect to vehicles, every new car is supposed to be electric by 2030. Anytime you pick up the press, like yesterday there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that talked about homes in New York, when they hook up, they have to hook up to the electric grid, not the gas grid. There was an article 2 days ago in the New York Times that talked about Colorado rivers and the water and the conservation, because you've got about 7 million homes that rely on hydroelectric power. And then in California, they passed a regulation recently where lawn equipment has to be electric and not gas-fired. So everything is switching towards the electrification of America. But there was no way for investors to participate in that. There was no index, there was no mutual fund, there was no ETF, there was nothing. So what we did is we worked with ICE and we created an index, an electric index, and then we co-branded an ETF with them that we launched on Friday. So that gives investors now a chance to participate in the electrification of America.
Yeah, which, again, in the ETF industry, we're 30 years old. To have a brand new, never before done ETF is pretty amazing. Tim, what's in the ETF? So I buy the ETF, it's AMPD, what am I owning?
So what you get is ICE, the Intercontinental Exchange. They have futures on electricity contracts, just like there's futures on crude oil and natural gas and other commodities, there's futures on this. And it's very liquid. As a matter of fact, if you take a look at the retail notional basis, electricity is the most consumed commodity in the US. So it's very liquid, you can do a lot in the space. And what we do is we take a weighted average of the US of what the consumption is, and that's what the actual index constituency is. And then we'll take the futures from those associated hubs, and that comprises the index, and then the ETF is benchmarked to that index.
And again, brand new ETF, we're super excited. It's only a couple days in, but we're going to track this. You're going to hear a lot about it from us through all of our different channels. Tim, if someone out there is listening and they're thinking, hey, I need to learn more about this, where should they go?
So the website is CNICfunds.com, and that gives you information about the index, and then there's a link there that takes you to the prospectus for the actual ETF, which the ticker is AMPed, AMPD.
AMPD, and again, if you're watching this live, you want to learn more about AMP, just go to our website, etfcentral.com. You can type in AMP, frankly, you can type in electricity, and you will find everything about the ETF. Super excited. Tim, thank you for spending some time with us. We're going to continue to track this ETF listed, of course, on none other than the New York Stock Exchange, the home of ETFs.